Welcome to Be Now for Wednesday, September 7th. My name is Don McLeod, and today we're going to be talking about municipal candidates. And joining me, as always, is Fazal Khan. Fazal, how you doing?
I'm good, Don. How are you?
Good. Before we get back over to the municipal candidates, back to school day was today. Yeah. Did you drive through any school areas today, or?
Well, it was today and yesterday, I think.
Yeah.
I went to the grocery store yesterday at 5:30. That was a bad decision, Don. Bad decision. Lots of people with kids in there and lots of stuff that I normally buy that was out of stock.
You know, the thing is, like I have a school just down the road from me, close to North Park, and you know what I find? I find it ridiculous that some parents are still driving their kids to school in this day and age. I mean, we have
Don, most parents, including me, drove their kids to school. My kids go to a school far away, but if you live close, there's no excuse.
You can't take the bus?
No, it would be three transit systems.
Yeah, so what?
2 hours a day each way?
Yeah.
No.
Jesus, that's the big problem. Right? Parents are driving kids. I was driving here, and it's like along North Park. There's a 40 kilometer an hour when it's flashing. I swear to God, I didn't see one car that was driving into the school going 40 kilometers an hour.
Really? I know they did make some changes with the amber lights now. I think that before the school bus stops, there's amber. They flash.
Yeah, that's a school bus. I'm talking about people dropping their kids off at school. It's like,
yeah.
Don, you were sold. Yes. And actually, when I went to Concordia in Montreal, I used to take the buses from Verdun and Nuns Island, and it used to take me close to 2 hours to get to Concordia and back anyway.
Yeah, but Don, when you were going to school, there were no cars.
Yeah. Well, we had to hitch a hike with the donkeys, and that was it, right? So that's all we had.
The wheel was just invented.
Oh, Jesus. I don't know. Anyway. You got to watch out for kids, but also watch out for parents dropping their kids off. It seems to be they're in a hurry just as bad, right?
Yeah, I feel bad for that teacher that was profiled on the news yesterday. Well, I don't feel bad for them, but why are you picking on teachers? Everybody's doing what he did, right?
I don't think you were picking on teachers, or the police were picking on teachers. They were going, what was she going? Something like 80 or 90 kilometers in a 40 kilometer zone?
Was it a she or that was a he? But I could be wrong.
It could be, whatever.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dottie. I walked to school with 5 miles. There was a milk wagon uphill and then downhill the other way. And 9 times out of 10, the wind was blowing in your face.
I'll have you know, Don, and my kids get upset when I say this. I was not a very sociable person in high school for a variety of reasons. We don't need to get into that. But I would walk to school. I wouldn't stay for lunch. I'd walk back home. I'd walk back to school. And it was 3.5 kilometers each way. So you do the math. That's a lot of walking.
Yeah. Oh, welcome to the club. That was not a big deal. The other thing I want to say is I see kids nowadays and they're loaded with backpacks, right? With books and stuff. But they're not wearing the backpack properly. Later on in life, those kids are going to have back problems. That's a big problem I see on a regular basis. And I'm surprised that there's nobody out there saying this is the proper way to wear your backpack. Because a lot of times it's down around, it's close to the lower spine. That causes problems later on in life. I'm just going
to put Vishal's comment again every time.
Dating yourself. Yes. Well, you know what? I like to date myself because I'm the only person that likes me.
Yeah. Okay. Now we've just lost all of our young people. Just a bunch of old people left here talking about this. Let's talk about the election, Don.
All right. So, we're going to go through some of the candidates, in the wards, because obviously, it's getting to that time. October 24th is the election date, but I think October 7th or 9th is the prior election. So it's about a month away where you can cast your vote. So where do you want to lead off with, Faz?
Well, I think a lot of people in Brampton don't even know which wards they're living in. So if you've never voted before, if you're new to the city, if you're not even sure which wards you voted in the last time, this is the map. We're not gonna get into detail with the map this time. I'm actually looking at making an online tool. You put in your postal code, and then it'll give you a list of the candidates. And maybe if the candidates are willing, they would tell me what they support or don't support, so we can share that information. I know you and I talked about that, Don. It's a lot of work for me, but
it is a lot of work. But I'm surprised the city hasn't done that over the years. I mean, there's been plenty of opportunity. They could institute that. It's not rocket science. And you guys,
I was going to go a little further though, Don. Right? I was going to put a little bit of platforms on.
Yeah.
I don't think the city should be doing that. Yeah.
Well, you could, because it makes it, it makes it easier for the electorate to find out exactly where they are and which ward they are. Because 9 times, you're right. I ask a lot of people, and they say, I don't know which ward I'm in.
Yeah. And then, in Brampton, you've got to vote for a city councillor, and you have to vote for a regional councillor, and you have to vote for a school trustee,
Right.
depending on if you're Catholic or not. And then there's a French school trustee, and then you're voting for the mayor. And I think that's why we get 30% voter turnout in Brampton and Mississauga.
Well, last time we got 30%. We'll see what we get this time. I think it's going to be a little bit lower in my estimation. But
if
all right,
it
where do you want to
dips
start
below
off?
30, Don,
If
it dips below 30.
Well, don't forget, you have, as we mentioned last night, you have a Diwali that falls on the 24th. So that's a big holiday.
Yeah.
You have, obviously, Brampton is a huge Punjabi, 9, 10, 2, 6. Those are big areas.
Okay, so this is the map. Figure out where you are, and we're going to go through the ward pairs. So you're voting. So it's a complicated reason why the wards are paired. It's because we have 10 wards, but we only had 7 seats at the regional council table.
Right.
So basically what happens when the new council is formed, they upgrade 2 of the councillors to regional councillor. And I think this coming municipal term, they're going to be upgrading 4 out of the 5. So one person is just going to be a city councillor because we got more seats of the region. So confusing, but let's get into the ward pairs, and we're going to start with Ward 1 and 5.
Okay.
And what I've done, Don, is I've created slides with all of the candidates listed.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
we got 10 slides to go through. So hang around. Let's talk about people. And you know what, Don? I didn't research too many of these people. I do go look at the list the city provides and to see if people have websites and all that, because I'm interested to see what their website are. But my first reaction to some of these people was when I had to put their name on this slide. So I want to know what your reaction is as well.
Yeah, I mean, you go in and basically there's an opportunity for candidates to give an office, a phone number, a website, and stuff like that. A lot of those are missing. A lot of them don't even have them. So it's like some of these people are not even, I guess I don't know what they're doing. But let's start. We have Stacey Ann Brooks. I don't know her. Hasmi Dillon, MD Rafkeel Islam.
I'm thinking he's a doctor.
I don't know. I mean, normally you have the MD at the end of the thing, not the beginning, right?
True that.
Prakash Kapil. I don't know if that's a relative of Dave Kapil. Stephen Lee.
It's because they have the same last name, Don. Doesn't mean that.
No, I know, but hey, sometimes you gotta ask. Stephen Lee. That.
Stephen Lee is active on Brampton Twitter, so
yeah,
he's got a fairly decent website as well. He's also got a platform.
Okay, so that's good. Tracy Pepe, she's a business owner in downtown Brampton. And Rowena Santos, that's the incumbent.
Do you know Rowena, Don?
Yes, I do know Rowena, yes.
So we're trying to be fair here. Rowena was part of a Brampton Focus way back when.
Yeah.
And we know her both well. And I personally think she's the best candidate. But I don't live in wards 1 and 5. So everybody and I'm, Don, are we giving our opinions on this, or are we just listening?
We can give opinions, but we can list them. But at the same time, it's like, we're not endorsing any candidate as such. I'm not endorsing any candidate as such. I'm suggesting that people do their due diligence, go to see if they have a website, see what the website says. Obviously you can do your own thing. You don't need me to tell you who to vote for. Yeah, that's not my role here. My role is to just go through the candidates and, do your due diligence. That's all we're expecting you to do. There's a lot of people out there that are just running for the hell of running. And, as I mentioned before in one of my articles, they're paycheck politicians. They're looking for a paycheck and that's it. So,
yeah. Well, I won't call out the person by name, but I know there is one candidate on here that's their approach to trying to win the election is just by criticizing the incumbent, which is never going to get you anywhere.
No. If you don't have a platform other than attacking the incumbent, then basically you're not the person that we want in that seat at all. That's not going to help further Brampton. And, what we need is unifying council to get stuff done in Brampton, not the continual fight. So those are your candidates for Ward 1 and 5.
For the city councilor role. Now, the regional councilor role, again, just for transparency, we know Paul Vicente
Yep.
as well. He was also part of our team. He was one of the founders of Brampton Focus, right?
Yes, he was. Yes.
And he was doing video before I ever touched a video camera.
Right.
Yeah. So there's three candidates there: Idris Orugu, Seema Passy, and Paul. Idris has been active at the Peel School Board, and I know he's also very vocal about cleaning up Brampton, the garbage everywhere. Seema, there's a development going on Queen that I think she's against, like a high-rise development, and I think that's why she's running. And Paul is the incumbent. And I think they all have websites. So this is going to be an interesting one, just because there's only 3 candidates. I don't think there's other races where there's only 3 candidates. So I don't think Paul can assume he's going to win because there's only 3 candidates, right? Some of the other ones we'll see. Let's put a comment here. I haven't read it yet. This is from Anthony Baker. He and I go at it on social media regularly. Your pals have had 4 years to work for Brampton, but they've been too busy working for themselves. So this is when I say being negative, that's the kind of thing I'm talking about, right? If you don't like your incumbent candidate, what I suggest you do is find a candidate you do like and help them.
Yeah, and the thing is, 4 years to work for Brampton, but they've been too busy working for themselves. Give me a prime example where they've been working too busy for themselves in regards to not working for Brampton, because I know Rowena Santos and Paul have been big advocates of bringing Brampton University here. Like we had Mayor Patrick Brown last night talking about that in regards to also Guelph Humber. I don't think there's probably two councillors out there that work as hard as Paul and Rowena. Just to let you know.
Yeah, and that's all I have to say about that, because otherwise they're,
Yeah, I mean, you got your opinion. I mean, opinion is easy, right? And the mayor decided to go job hunting for the federal party. Well, we had a 7 and 8 city councillor, Charmaine Williams, who decided to go job hunting for a job at Queen's Park. That's what politicians do. You're going to find that politicians, just like any industry, they go, if you're an electrician and you got one job here, that's your job. That's your forte. You go from one company to the next. So holding politicians in regards to, jumping ship from going to provincial to federal to municipal and vice versa, take a look at, the leader of the NDP, Andrew Horvath. Well, she's running for mayor in Hamilton. And then you look at Stephen Del Duca, the ex-leader of the Liberal Party. He's running for mayor in Vaughan. Right? Are you gonna slag them at the same time for wanting to get a better job or go to a different area?
And again, as I said, we're not going to give this platform. He's got a whole bunch of other comments to post all of his dirty laundry that he wants to air. You're not going to get somebody not voted. You're going to get somebody voted, right? So go find the candidate and help them.
And do your due diligence. All right, what do we got next? Where are we going? 2 and 6.
Well, Ward 26 City Councilor. There's no incumbent here, Don, because
Doug Willens decided not to run. Yep.
What, did he decide not to run? He just didn't put his name out. He didn't tell anybody he wasn't running.
Well, that's deciding not to run.
Well, that's a disservice to his constituents, right?
Yeah.
If you're not going to run, tell people you're not going to run, so you can get people interested in running, as opposed to just not putting your name and not saying anything.
Yeah, not saying anything. So we have Navjeet Kaur Bar. Now, she ran for the NDP in the last provincial election. She's running now city councillor. Jermaine Chambers, he ran for everything under the sun. Suraj Islam, I don't know him. Vijay Mar, I don't know. Joe Roskovich, I don't know if the same Joe that I know, because I did at one time know a person named Joe Roskovich. I'm going to have to do a little bit of digging.
I know a few people named Joe, Don.
Yeah, not with the last name of Roskovich. Raghav Patel. Now, Raghav, he ran in the last election for councillor 2-6, I believe. Again, he ran against Doug Willens the last election. I don't know.
Raghav is actually a former intern with Brampton.
Right. He interned with Brampton Focus years ago, and he ran in the last election. So we know about Raghav Patel. Hardeep Singh, I don't know. Cody Vatcher, well, we know Cody Vatcher as an online troll. Carmen Wilson. Carmen, I think she ran. Where did she run before? Was she running in the provincial election? I know that she ran somewhere before.
But here's the problem, Don. Some of these names, like Carmen Wilson's name, rings a bell, but not enough. And I live in Ward 26. Not enough to go and say I'm going to vote for them, unless when I go look, I already kind of know who I'm voting for here, and I've publicly said who it is. But you know, we still got 7 or 8 weeks left. Things can change. I'm not, you know, necessarily not open to changing my mind. So. Yeah, the name that rings a bell. You got to get to my door, right?
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing. The reason it rings a bell is because it was out there before. But you and I know there's always somebody who puts on community advocate, blah 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 blah, and you never heard of them. I mean, we've been doing this for 7, 8 years, and it's like all of a sudden someone says I'm a community advocate, and we're saying, who is this person? I've never heard of this person before, or any kind of advocacy in the community at all. And we're out in the community on a regular basis, so. You know, do your homework. Do your homework is all I'm saying. Don't take the word of the candidate coming to your door of what they're doing or what they're going to do, because, you know, it's what counts or what you've done, which is a big, you know, a big factor, not what you say you're going to do.
So Dodie wants to know if she can give her opinion. Just stay positive, Dodie. Don't be like Anthony and be negative.
You can just say who you think is a good candidate and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want.
But you kind of have to say it while the slide is up, right? So we'll give you a few more seconds if you want to talk about it. Yeah, but there's no incumbent here. So again, it's who runs the best campaign, who hits the most doors, and is compelling enough at the door. And you know, it comes down. Your website might make a difference, right?
Absolutely.
Your flyer might make a difference in this case, because
it might make a difference, but the people are getting at the door. I know it's busy, you got kids and everything else, but you know what's important? Who we put into those positions, right? So,
yeah.
All right, who else we got?
Regional councillor, the incumbent is Michael Paul Pileshi. I found that interesting that it was Michael Paul Pileshi, not just Michael Pileshi. We know why Michael's doing that, right?
Well, Paul was his father.
And his father was the councillor, so good move on his part to
for a lot of years, right? Yeah. So his father was held that seat for a long time, and Michael, you know, took over.
I think Gurpreet Singh Pabla has run in that ward before. He's always on the voters list. I'm thinking it's like a lottery for him, but I could be wrong. Maybe he's out there pounding the pavement. Yeah. I don't know. Everybody else. Mansour Amir Sultan ran as mayor last time, and when he lost, he, for the last 4 years, have been criticizing us and Brampton Focus and Neighborhood Watch and everybody on council. I don't know what he stands for, but...
Well, someone like that, all he stands for negativity. I mean, we've seen that before on a regular basis. If all you're going to do is criticize and do nothing in the community, that's easy to do. And somebody, like, I saw an interview, they were talking with Peterborough Mayor, you know, the one that said "F-U, you F-wads" to the convoy people. She said, you're going to get a lot of negativity, and if you're pissing people off, you're doing the right thing. Well, we've been pissing people off for 7 or 8 years, so we must be doing the right thing, right?
Yeah, but Mansour's not doing the right thing. We're the wrong people to get upset, Don, right?
Yeah, and you know what? By you being negative, I mean, you're doing absolutely zero in the community. Right? If you think you're doing the community good by just slagging an organization that basically has done stuff more than you can imagine in 7, 8 years, then you know what? I'm sorry, but I wouldn't want you on city council or regional council at all.
You really have to build bridges and that's why I like the ranked ballot system. That
I do too.
You got to build bridges. You can't start out. You cannot, as you say, not engage with people like us, not the general community, be critical to us, and then run for an office. You criticize all politicians and expect us to give you a second of our time, other than now when I'm basically saying, don't vote for that guy.
Yeah, well, yeah. And it's like, you know what? I wouldn't either, because number one, I don't think anyone on there has got a chance, but that's up to the voters, because Michael Pileši's got a good contact there. But someone like that running, you know, you don't want that, you know, someone like that running. There's people running in other wards and district, you know, whether it be for city or regional councillor, you take a look at and say, well, you don't have a chance. But at the same time, I'm not slagging them. I'm saying you don't have a chance. That's your opportunity to go out there because you've done stuff in the community. It's your opportunity. Someone like that who continually, you know, takes shots and does this and does nothing but criticize. No, sorry. You know what? You're not cut out for this. You're not cut out for building bridges to communities. All you are is one big, you know, hey.
All right. Next, wards 3 and
3, 4.
4. Again, no incumbent at the city council because Councillor Jeff Bowman, again, just didn't put his name on the list. He never told any. In fact, this was actually worse, Don. What did he do?
What did he do? Did he just disappear?
So, correct me if I'm wrong. I think his name was on the list. And then the last day, he takes his name off the list. And then John Sanderson, who ran in wards 3, 4, probably knows.
Oh,
Jeff
so he
really well.
pulled out the last minute. Oh,
and then John Sanderson put his name in the last minute.
Yeah,
right?
So we'll go through them. Cleopatra Gooden Sims, I haven't heard of her.
I have. The name rings a bell. I think she does some work. I don't want to be wrong, so I won't say it, but I have heard of her. Dennis Keenan. I'm a big fan of Dennis Keenan. He
owns Keenan's Irish Pub. Yes.
He also owns an electrical contractor. I think very successful. So, right. And I know he's busy going to the door. So I'm a big fan of him. I'd love to see him.
He's a businessman that's been in Brampton for quite a few years. I know his Keenan Irish Pub. And Carla Green, I don't know of. No, I've never heard of Carla Green. Jasmoa Singh Manku, never heard of him. John Sanderson, another rehashed dinosaur from the Elaine Moore era. Teshwar Son, I don't know who that is. So, Dennis Keenan, to me, looks like someone who's, a little bit progressive. You don't want to recycle, old hats on a regular basis. Like I said, John Sanderson was, hand in hand with Elaine Moore, and we all know the fiasco in that regard.
This is our opportunity to have a clean break from Elaine Moore. If John gets back in, we're going to have more nonsense in this city because I don't know what motivates those folks, Elaine Moore and Sangriwal and all those folks, but this is our opportunity, wards 3 and 4, to break that and start fresh.
Yeah, and I think, like I said, Dennis Keenan, he's a business owner. He's a little bit progressive. He's gone through the whole thing. To me, that's a strong suit for him. Regional councillor 3 and 4, Martin Medeiros is the incumbent. You have Akeem George. Now, I haven't heard from Akeem George before, but he's got a website up. He's got a good platform.
I think Akeem's been engaging with us on this platform last week. I could be wrong, though.
Yeah, I'm going to have to delve into him a little bit more. Andrea Barrett.
She was the NDP candidate, I think, as well last provincial election. So very recent.
Martin Medeiros, obviously the incumbent. Amit Singh is he's been advocating for healthcare. He's a nurse. He was advocating a couple of years ago in regards to whenever we had code red or code gridlock in the hospital. So he's been advocating for a second and third hospital. Raman Vasudev, I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, so again, the incumbent here has a huge advantage. If it was the incumbent, Martin versus one of these people, maybe there'd be a chance, but that non-Martin vote is going to be split 4 ways. That's how you got to view this. So,
again, do your homework, find out, find out who they are and what they represent. Oh,
this is the big
7
one.
and 8. Yep. 7 and 8. There's nobody here. Charmaine Williams is.
Well, hang on. So the reason there's so many people on this list is because Ward 7 and 8 was vacated because Charmaine Williams ran for the provincial election and won. And people had a lot of time to decide if they wanted to run for this. This is what people in wards 2 and 6 for the city councillor and 3 and 4 for city council didn't have the opportunity to even consider. Because nobody wants to waste their time running against. Most people don't want to waste their time running against an incumbent, and that was a little bit insincere to their constituents to do that. But in this case, I can't even count how many candidates we have here. Yeah,
she's wide open. I mean, Natalie Ballantyne. I don't know who that is. You
really want to go through that whole list like that?
Yeah, why not? Baljit Bawa.
He's run for a lot of things, including the what's the purple party? What's the? He ran for the Liberal Party federal nomination.
Yeah, Belgique. He was running for the Mad Max Party.
Yeah, what's the name of that party? People's
Party of Canada with Maxime Bernier. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Raymond Carl. I don't know. Michael Farquharson. Well, we've seen him on social media.
And he was actually one of the first to enter that race. And I had a chance to look at his website and stuff. He's a reasonable candidate. Nothing wrong with him.
No. Fatima Farouk Ahmad, I don't know. Daminar Guman, don't know. Rod Power, I've seen him on social media. Don't know much about him. Never met him. Roderick has run before.
I don't know that name either.
Yeah, Ganyan Sandhu, Jaskiran Sandhu. Now, Jaskiran, he's a long time. He was I think he was executive director of the Sikh organization of Canada. He also worked on Mayor Linda Jeffrey's staff at the same time when Linda.
I think he was chief of staff for Mayor Linda Jeffrey.
Yeah, Cindy.
I like Jazz.
Right?
I like Jazz. We've interacted
Jazz,
a lot.
We know Jazz. I mean, when he was with the mayor, we ran into him on a regular basis, so we know Jazz. Cindy Ann Williams and Donna Williams. I don't know if one is the sister and one is the sister-in-law. So of Charmaine Williams.
Donna Williams, as Karen was pointing out, is Charmaine Williams' sister. Now, this is interesting because I think Cindy Ann Williams is somehow related, as you said.
I think Cindy Ann Williams is the sister-in-law.
I don't know the specific details, but I'm pretty sure Cindy Ann Williams worked for Charmaine Williams. Cindy has been active. We could tell months before people put their name in because they got active on social media and they, get a nice profile picture. So Cindy Ann did all of that, and then she put her name in, and then recently Donna put her name in, and I think they're related. So like the average voter is not going to know which one of those two. If they support Charmaine, they're going to be confused unless Charmaine Williams has some really amazing contact list that everybody just follows her because she says so.
Well, you got a couple strong candidates, Jaskiran Sandhu. I see Rod Power doing what he's supposed to be doing. Michael Farquharson's out there. So there's a lot of opportunity, but it's a wide open. You got a lot of candidates there.
How many votes do you think you'll need to win this one, Don?
I think Charmaine got about 5,000 and she won it last time. And I think Carla Bailey came in second, close to 4,000. So the way the votes are now, and the turnout was pretty high last time at 33%. So I don't know. If you get 2,000-3,000 votes, you never know. You might win that.
2,000-3,000. And, so basically it's who runs the best campaign, right?
Who door knocks and who runs the best campaign.
Who gets the vote out, who takes advantage of early voting.
Yeah.
Big opportunity for one of these people. Okay.
Regional councillor. Well, we have Michael Dancy. Michael Dancy decided to throw his hat into the ring, and he's a regular here that we talk about. Karen is his wife, so hopefully she's getting him out to knock on doors on a regular basis.
I don't see Karen saying anything positive about Mike here. So.
Well, I'm pretty sure she's going to vote for him.
Are you sure?
Well, yeah. Well, she's going to say she's going to vote for him. He is. Yes, there he is.
He is what? He is running? Yes, we know that.
Running. Yes, he's running. She didn't answer the question whether she's going to vote for him or not. So, Rupaman Singh Dillon, I don't know who that is. Pat Fortini is the incumbent.
Pat got
10,000 votes.
Not my words. What?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't think Karen probably wanted to say that. She can't actually vote for her husband.
Okay, well, there you go. That's a good out, Karen. Very way to go.
Yeah. Pat Fortini, I think, got 10,000 votes last time. So
yes.
That is going to be a hard nut to crack, but it's crackable because.
Yeah. Well, don't forget that was, like I said before, there wasn't too many people running against him, and at the same time, the turnout was 33%. If the turnout turns greater, then obviously, you got a better opportunity. But I don't know if that's going to be the case this time.
But that's why running a good campaign, if you get your people out, right, you've got 70% of that ward don't vote. So, you just got to get those people who don't vote to vote.
And that's part of the challenge, right? The challenge is to get people to motivated enough to vote. That's always the challenge.
Yeah. And then the other four.
Farouk Ashak, I don't know. Matthew Johnson, Gurinder Segal, and Cynthia C. Parai. I haven't heard of any of those four or what they do. So do your homework again.
The last two wards, in wards 9 and 10, city and regional. So for city, we have an incumbent, Harkarat Singh. I like Harkarat. He's a quiet, easygoing guy, and if he's the one that launched the lawsuit against the group of 6 who were trying to get Elaine Moore to replace Charmaine Williams by pre-appointing Elaine Moore before Charmaine Williams even won. So
basically
he
breaking the
took that the
municipal
court out of his own pocket,
right,
and
exactly.
and won. So good on him.
Yeah. So Arslan Beg, I don't know who that is. Janice Gordon Daniels, never heard. Jadish Singh Grewal, I don't know who that is. Mahenda Gupta and Mempreet Othi, and Harkirat Singh is the incumbent.
Okay, and then the last one, I got 2 slides for this, and you'll know why when I go through it. So wards 9 and 10, regional councillor. You see people there. I'm going to knock out the incumbent, right? Because nobody should be voting for the incumbent. So he's gone. You're going to see him on the ballot. But do not waste your ballot by voting for this guy, right?
Yeah, he was the one accused of sexual harassment and basically hush money. We've covered that on numerous times on the show.
He is an embarrassment to the city, to his family, to his community.
Yeah. I mean, he was part of the group of 6. He fired the integrity commissioner because basically she ruled against him. There's a whole bunch of things you can go.
But even aside from all this internal city stuff, he sexually. I'm going to use the right words here because I'm sure a lawsuit might be coming. He sexually harassed, according to the city's integrity commissioner, a resident while he was on business in Turkey, and the details are terrible.
Yeah, and the integrity commissioner ruled against him. He took it to Superior Court, Ontario Superior Court. He lost, right, and he had to pay, and that's still outstanding whether he paid that $20,000 back to the city. So we don't even know that. We keep asking.
Well, and he voted on motions related to all this.
Absolutely, he voted on a motion, which I think there's an integrity commissioner complaint against him filed by
Andrew
DeGroot, and we had
all those, as you know, integrity commissioners are basically muted for the next few months.
Right. So
I'm not even sure they're looking at new cases right now. So that's why Gurpreet Dillon did that, because he knew the integrity commissioner was not going to be able to question his ability to vote on that stuff.
Right. So we have an Eep Dad, Azad Goyat. Well, Azad, we know he's I think he's Vales of the Humber. He's got an organization up there. I think it's Vales of the Humber that he heads a group up there. Susan Joseph, I don't know. Gagan Lal, don't know. Mohammed Swab, don't know. No,
the name rings a bell. The name, I think he's active on social media in Brampton.
Gurtap Singh Tour, he's like Karen Singh Sidhu. He worked with Mayor Linda Jeffrey. He was on her staff when Linda Jeffrey was mayor. So he's someone, again, that is familiar with the halls of City Hall. So Gurtap Singh Tour is someone that's basically worked with Linda Jeffrey as well. So that'll give you an idea who they are.
Okay, and just a reminder, here is where your ward boundaries are. But you're going to have to do your own research. Hopefully we'll have a tool ready before the early vote to know. You type in your postal code and it'll tell you who your candidates are and maybe give you a little bit of their platform, and you can have a vote. And get your neighbors out, get your family and friends out, especially your family, right? If you're the only one voting in your house and there's other people, was it 18 and over? It's 18 and over, right, Don?
Yes.
Yeah, this is the perfect time. If somebody just turned 18, get them involved, get them civically engaged so they continue to vote, right? I think if you do that, they will continue to be involved. If you don't do that now, when they become 22, I think it's rapidly declines your engagement.
Well, the thing is too, I mean, a lot of people have talked about, we should have it where, it's mandatory to vote. And if you don't vote, you get fined. I mean, there's certain jurisdictions in the world, Australia, I think, is one where if you don't vote, you get fined. I mean, with a low turnout of 30%, it's ridiculous, but Brampton has had that, stigma of being a bedroom community, and, it's a low voter turnout. But in the municipal politics, this is what affects you every day on a regular basis. That's where it really affects you on the municipal level. Not so much provincial and federal, but the municipal every day you go to school, every day you go to work, roads, traffic lights, this, that, and the next thing. That affects you on a regular basis every day on the municipal, and it's important.
All right, so we're way over time, Don. It's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, you weren't going to go through the mayor candidates at all, or are we going to cover that on a different?
Yeah, we'll cover that another day. It was just too long to
All right. Well, you know what? Do your due diligence if you're going to vote. Make sure you do get out and vote. It's, I don't understand when people say, well, it took too long to vote, or it's too much trouble. I mean, for me, it's the voting station is what, 5 minutes up the road, and it takes 2 seconds to do. It's not a big problem. If you can't spare that to put a tick onto a piece of paper in a democratic society, then there's something wrong, right? So make sure you check out the candidates. Even if they come to your door and ask you, quiz them. If they don't know what they're talking about, you'll know right off the bat.
Yeah, and be friendly. Be friendly.
Yeah, there's no sense of being hostile. I mean, you want to ask questions, and you want to ask questions of the candidate, and so they're just trying to get elected. They're trying to. The only way to get elected is to knock on doors. I'm sorry, but that's the only way. So if someone knocks on your door,
you mean watching this, Don, is not going to elect anybody?
No, I mean, if you're a candidate, you got to knock on doors and you got to answer people, and that's the only interaction with the voters. And if they ring your doorbell during dinner time, it's like you don't have to scream and saying, I was having dinner, like don't bother.
It's also for me, I don't know about you, Don, it's a nice time to kind of envision the future a little bit, right? This is the only time where people engaged in the city start talking about what they want in Brampton. For the next 4 years, there's going to be complaining. People are going to be complaining about taxes or snow or garbage or something. But now we get the opportunity to talk about what do we want this city to be. Right?
Well, we do, but you don't want candidates to say, like the crime is increasing, I'm going to lower crime. Really? Okay. Well, how are you going to do that? That's the big question.
There's
right?
too many murders. I'm going to lower the murder rate.
Yeah.
Really?
And it's like, I'm going to stop this and I'm going to do this. Well, how are you going to do that? Because I hear a lot of that, but I don't see any solutions, right?
And I hear a lot of things that are going to increase our taxes, and I don't hear them saying they're increasing taxes.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't have increased services without increased taxes. So, going forward, like I said, do your homework and don't take someone just saying, I'm going to solve all the problems of the world and everything's going to be honky-dory. So with that, next Tuesday, we'll be back at a regular time. We're going to be Tuesdays until we get back with the town halls with Mayor Patrick Brown. But we'll be back on Tuesday at 6:30 and with a whole bunch of different topics. And thank you for joining us, and see you next week.
Bye-bye.